everybody, and today we're reading a fanfic. How spontaneous. I can't fucking read. I can't spell. Anyways, um, I don't. The fanfic is over biddies. The title of it is called "Heal These Breaking Bones" by Panicked Pumpkin. Yo, maybe I said that right. I'm very proud of myself with reading that without stuttering, but I'm gonna stutter so much while reading this. So, let's get started. Chapter 1, Getting Settled. The sun was setting as you finished placing the last of your heavy boxes into your new living room. The sky had turned a beautiful gradient of orange and purple, showing the day was ending and illuminating your new home in a gorgeous moonlighting for a nap. But you didn't feel tired. Sore from carrying the boxes, sure, but not at all sleepy. So instead, you found yourself zoning out with your eyes fixed upon the sky outside your window. Definitely not avoiding the effort it would take to unpack all of your stuff, not at all. Who am I kidding? You sighed, sitting yourself cross-legged in front of a random box before tearing it open roughly with your bare hands. Inside, you were pleased to find the box was filled with stuffed animals. You didn't consider yourself a cutesy person by any means, but you didn't seem to let go of these silly little plush toys. Was it your fault that they made you feel happy and safe? Nope. And if anybody wanted to fight about it, it was a fight they would lose. Oh, I'm sorry. By the way, the POV is YNs, so just a heads up so you guys don't get confused. You carefully picked up a small stuffed cat, rough and worn from too much love. It was missing an eye, and there were scraps of red fabric stitched to the back of its neck, showing that it had once worn a ribbon. It was shabby, and its colors were faded, but it was yours, and you loved it. Staring down at your favorite toy as the sun was setting in your empty living room was making you feel weirdly emotional. Quickly, you squeezed the plush feline, set it aside before you started crying. Were you really feeling homesick this fast? Where the hell did all your excitement for having your own space go? The quiet was almost deafening for the moment. You lingered on that thought. Oh, quit your whining. You're going to see them later this week, you grumbled to yourself, shifting in your seat. Barely 5 hours in, and you already missed your family. You never had to be this far away from them before, and it was already starting to get to you. This wasn't going to work. You needed to do something to get your rhythm back. What were the things you were most excited about when you decided to move? Thinking about it brought you back to all the things you couldn't do back home, things like getting a pet. Immediately distracted, you pulled out your phone and began looking into pet shops in the area. Of course, you weren't going to get one today. You didn't even have your bed set up yet, but still, the idea of finally getting to have a pet made it hard not to look into it. For the past 25, am I that old? For the past 25 years of your life, you could only dream of an animal companion to call your own. Sure, you got to have a fish, and as much as Goldie was not to be disrespected, it just wasn't the same. Dad was one of those dads that didn't like little dogs, so Chihuahua you always wanted was off the table as soon as you were born. Damn. Little sisters and mom were scared of rodents, so no pet mouse either. That sucks. On top of it all, your youngest sister was allergic to cats. Well, so were you. But you could put up with it if you had to. Damn, I'm allergic to cats now. Fuck. In retrospect, you might have not been ready for the responsibility of a pet back then. Sure, you took good care of the fish, but they were goldfish. They were meant to be easy. I don't think so. But it was different now. Now that you were an independent young adult with your own apartment in the city, you made your own decisions, and if you were ready for all that, you were ready for a furry friend. Plus, it might help with the loneliness you were sure to feel from living alone. You ended up getting a little carried away with your research, going over your building's policy on pets, in which they were thankfully allowed, finding local pet shops for you to stake out into Google images of easy to care for and exotic pets. At some point, the pictures of puppies and colorful birds turn into living flames and skeletons. You recognize these creatures as biddies, miniature monsters that only the rich could reasonably afford to have. We have money too, we just moved into a new house. A lack of money wasn't about to stop you from fantasizing about how fun it would be to have a biddy of your own. But despite how they were marketed, you found it difficult to see the little monsters as pets. And it seemed like most biddy owners agreed with that. And they would walk on two legs just like people. Could eat the same food people could. They could talk, and they could think just like people. The real difference between biddies and humans was that they were monsters and they didn't grow to be much more than 9 inches tall. True monsters had been around for nearly 70 years now. They're old. And though it had gotten better since the barriers first broke, or so you heard. In truth, you weren't the best educated on the subject. Having been born nearly 50 years after the event, most of the hard work had already been done before you could witness it for yourself. Growing up alongside monsters, it felt weird to treat smaller monsters as pets, especially when they were sentient. There you go, finally. No matter how many jackasses tried to convince the world otherwise, you were sure that they were alive. It didn't matter if they were artificial, quote unquote. They weren't accessories, and they weren't animals either. If anything, they were closer to children. Tiny baby biddies, teaching them stuff, cooking for them. You thought it might be nice to be a parent. How old are we? Hold on. 20, we're 25 years old and we're already having a child. The thought was sudden and random, but remembering your little sisters and how cute they were as babies confirmed it for you. You definitely wanted kids one day, though that would be years from now. You looked up from your phone, noticing the sun was gone. Damn, how long do we... TikTok? Hello? Was gone, and the sky had changed from its orange purple painted clouds to gray with pale blue evening lights. You slowly turned your gaze to your unpacked moving boxes and let out a groan. No, I would feel the same. Getting up to turn on the light so you could actually do something productive, you silently put the thoughts out of your head. No, you weren't ready for kids, be they human or monster. That's the end of chapter 1. This was very awkward, but it was fun for me to read. So I hope y'all have the enjoyment that I had reading, and also had struggles reading some big words. But it's okay, that's the fun of it. But peace.